Hello everyone, Crash here, this is RTA Motorsports. Today is a really special day. Thank you so much for joining in. We have the Samsung Odyssey Plus in the studio. I have two cameras just so I can try to show you all the action. And yeah, it's going to be pretty wild. We're going to do the unboxing as well as my initial impressions once we get the headset on. Here we go.
Welcome to RTA Motorsports.
Alright everyone, so the way we're kind of going to do this, I have a two camera setup here, so that way you could try to see how everything comes in the box straight out of the gate. Now you're going to notice from reports here, the Samsung Odyssey Plus doesn't really come in much different packaging at all than the base Odyssey. So if you have the Odyssey, it's pretty much going to come packaged the same. Even the box looks the same. The box is about the same size. Of course, the box came in good condition. There was an exterior box on top of the fact that, you know, this is a box that has labeling on it, so, you know, they don't want to show this box. But overall, it's very minimalist. Very, very minimalist. Let's cut this open here. I'm going to try to face this in such a way that you can all see what's going on. I am extremely excited for this headset. I don't think you guys understand anti-screen door effect technology. I know there was a lot of reports of the fact that it was kind of making it seem blurry, but yeah, we'll see. So the first thing you get greeted with is with this here. It says Odyssey, the journey starts here. Kind of Fanatec-esque little message. Oh, can't really see that. There we go. The journey starts here. A little bit of a message as soon as you open it. That's pretty cool to see. That was not, if at all, like, I don't really remember seeing this at all when we opened up the original Odyssey. And here it is. You just basically have this plastic housing that everything kind of sits in. And these are just as firm and as scratchy as they sound as far as the packaging material. Oh, they open up. Okay. So overall, the controller straight out of the gate feels very similar and looks very similar to the last gen. I need to compare these side by side because this almost feels about the weight. Let me make sure. No. This feels about the weight of the last gen controller with the batteries already in. Just off of memory. I may be completely wrong, but looks identical to the last gen controller. So there's a little bit of tape there. Separate the tape. Yep, there is the left controller. And they're actually labeled in the back, right and left, right over here. One issue that I was hoping they would address is, but you know, it's Windows mixed reality, so it's across the line, are these battery covers here, because sometimes when you're playing, the way that you grip it or anything like that, you could pull it down just with your fingers. You see, we just already did that there. And even when I had people over and they try it, sometimes they're over gripping because they're excited and they accidentally pull it down and the cover falls off just like that. So I'm sure it could be fixed with a little piece of tape or something, but that's a design issue I was kind of hoping they would address. So let's get these controllers out of here. You can see now we have the big item left. This is the headset. Now, of course, the headset, you know, regardless of what you say about the packaging material or any complaints about that, it always comes in good shape. You know, everything is either safe or, you know, it's very minimalist, but everything always seems to come safe, and that's really what counts. A little bit of tape there, and there she is. Oh man! Hold this here so you can see it. All right, so initial impressions of the headset as I'm feeling around and as I'm looking at it, although I'm being blinded by the studio light. I can say the headset itself the first thing that popped in my mind as I was holding it, as I was trying to show it to this camera here, is that the pads feel super soft. Because while now the pads are not using a faux leather or a vinyl material, they're using a fabric cover. Kind of like, you know, what a lot of people go to when they order the aftermarket covers from like VR Cover or anything like that. I grabbed the back one first and I'm like, whoa, that is super soft. It actually, with this fabric cover, almost feels like those expensive foam pillows that you see at like Brookstone or any of those like bedding companies in the mall that you could go to that sell like really high-end pillows. That's kind of what it feels like. You can tell it's obviously memory foam, but the cover is like a really nice sort of silky. It's gonna be interesting to see. And all the foam on there has, except for the ear cups. The ear cups still have the vinyl or the pleather or anything like, well, however you refer to that, still has that. The design looks very similar, but all the other vinyl that was on it is now replaced with this fabric covering. So around the headset itself, trying to face this so you can see here, right around through here, you can see all that. There is now that fabric covered up here on the head strap and on the back. So very interesting. Let's take the cabling out. Got a double taped cover here. There we go. And the one thing I was really sad to hear was that the headset cable is the same length. That's a gripe of mine with the original Odyssey. This room here is not that big, and I kind of have to pull my computer tower out from the wall a little bit so it could reach to the other corner. And that's a little unacceptable. You could use extenders, so do not think I'm saying it's unusable for people with bigger rooms. You could use cable extenders, and people have used it with no problems. But it's a VR headset, you know. Give us a few extra meters. That's all I'm asking for. All right. And then left in the box, let's throw this like this. Why not, right? Left in the box, we have the book. You have a lens cleaner, very small little towel there. Oh, it kind of opens up a little bit. All right, we get that. Well, at least I don't have to use my glove anymore, right? Little book, little user manual. All different languages. And on the bottom here, of course, we have the batteries. All right, and the one nice thing about this headset is now we have the Bluetooth module embedded in the headset itself. We don't have to use that external Bluetooth module that I have actually on the front of the tower anymore. So the controllers pair to the headset, and that's it. Never had an issue with the Bluetooth module once I installed it, but you know, for anyone that doesn't have one, you don't need one now. So I'm gonna throw this headset on. We are gonna discuss the fitment. I am a little sad to see that the headset is now rigid for the most part. We used to have a spring that you would be able to grab the front and kind of pull out a little bit. I didn't rely on that too much, but it's missing. I mean, they've taken a feature away. There's still a little bit of play in the headset to the head strap, and it kind of feels like it's not a mechanical play. It's more of a, you know, the headset's made of plastic and that's just everything flexing, but we don't have that spring anymore where the headset itself will pull forward. The other thing that kind of hits me when I'm looking at this is it's pretty small. It's very compact in comparison to the last one, both in depth and in width. It just feels much smaller. Now the eye cup, it says the eye cup is bigger. To me, this doesn't feel any bigger, but yep, let's throw it on and I'll give you my first impressions of fitment and comfort, and then we'll connect it to the computer and go from there. Oh yeah, that is very different. Okay. So very, very interesting. Let me move the lenses apart a little bit maybe. So yeah, they definitely... Huh. I'm going to have to get the lenses on. I'm going to have to get the headset on to really center this on my head and see where it feels comfortable versus... Okay. Alright. So... Initial impressions of Fitment. It's not a good one. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm not a small individual. I was kind of wondering if a lot of these reviews I was seeing online, reading, you know, I tried to stay away from the videos, but, you know, there's complaints on Reddit and whatnot of people saying light bleed. Oh, look, you can see me through the hoop. Of light bleed from the sides. Now, I'm 6 feet tall, like I said. I'm not a small guy. I do have, you know, a normal sized face. I don't have a very slender face, and I was kind of wondering if that was what the case was. Also, the nose cup on the last one was a little annoying. You had to kind of fold the flaps back. These flaps on the last one were completely covering the nose cup, so a lot of people said they felt like their nose was being pinched. You could fold them under the lens, and that was pretty much the end of it there. You didn't have to worry about it at that point. And also the nose cup itself was kind of deeper but narrower. As soon as I put this headset on, and I don't know how this got past quality control or any sort of design department, I noticed my face is not touching these sides, so this is clearly wider. And you know, I know they said they did that for glasses, but my eyes are very close to these lenses. I can tell just by putting it on without it powered on. So my face is not touching the sides here. There was a slight little bit of light bleed. Now I have a studio light on behind me, and I can't really see that clearly on the lenses, but I can see that there is a little hint of light coming through on either side. Not enough where I think if I was in a VR title, it would even matter, because it's not like glowing the inside of the headset or anything like that. But my face, I can feel that my face are not touching the pads on the sides here, so I'm not getting a uniform seal, where in the last one I was. The nose cup, pretty horrible. Very, very horrible actually. As soon as I put it on, I could see the edge of this box that is right in front of me, right here. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll go back to the Fitment in just a moment. What I want to do is compare them side by side so you can see where we're coming from and where we're potentially going to, depending on how this reviews. So this is the Samsung Odyssey, the first generation. You can see it on this view here, and this is the Samsung Odyssey Plus. Now you can see here on the sides, you do have these extensions that kind of come out on both sides, basically of the eye cup, right? Those are gone on this new one, and now it's one solid piece. And it kind of gives the illusion that it's actually much smaller. It feels much more compact because you're expecting that extension there that is no longer there. But in reality, when you put these side by side, and it's gonna be kind of hard to see here, they do extend about the same amount. As far as from the front of the faceplate itself all the way to the back where the pad is, where it meets your face, is about the same length, which is very interesting. Also, what I was explaining before, that little extension, this is about the max of the spring that we used to have, and you can see right in here it's extending out, and we don't have that ability anymore with this new one. It's solid. It's solid, absolutely solid. I'm pulling really hard and it does not move at all. Also, let's look at the front of the faceplate. Now you can see this is the Odyssey Plus in my left hand here. This is the Odyssey on the right. The front of the faceplates on both the Odyssey Plus and the Odyssey are very similar in their design and what they look like. But the Odyssey Plus is a little bit narrower kind of looking, a little bit taller, where the Odyssey is wider, but shorter. And I kind of wonder if it has anything to do with the design of the camera system, allowing the cameras to kind of see a little bit more. I wonder if they shrunk the face in a little bit but opened up the eye box, because that's what it kind of looks like as far as where the cameras are positioned. Maybe we'll get a wider field of view. Now when you look on the insides, try to make this as easy as possible for you all to see. Now again, this is the Odyssey, the first generation Odyssey. You can tell by the faux leather on the inside, and this is the Odyssey Plus. Their eye cups look very similar in their size and in their shape, but you could see the nose piece here, the nose flaps, as well as you see the size of the nose cup itself. You see the shape of it, how deep it is, but how narrow it is as well, where it'll fit in most noses, but those flaps kind of are the main complaint. I think this design was a better design. If they could retrofit basically this nose cup design with these flaps instead of these flaps, I think we would be much better off, because you could just see how massive this is in comparison. Let me try to get that where you could somewhat see it. How massive in comparison this is here. It's just a very big area. These flaps here are supposed to go against the bridge of your nose, but they come out really wide on the base. And what that ends up doing is allowing a lot of light bleed right through. You could see quite a bit, and it's very obvious, and it's kind of a shame. We still have the volume rocker here, although it's now not a rocker. Now it's two separate buttons. So this one here, volume up, volume down. And then this one here is two separate buttons, and we still have the IPD adjustment. But overall, very similar in their design to one another. You still have the ratchet mechanism in the back to bring the back in, and they both sound exactly the same. The headphones also, let's take a look at that real quick. The headphones, they're pretty much identical. Their ear cups are identical, at least they seem it. I never had a complaint about their speakers at all that they're using in their headphones. Their headphones are actually very good headphones. They get quite loud. Kind of look like on the new one. Let me take a little bit of a closer look at this. Okay, so they're exactly the same. Their ear cup design and everything are exactly the same. The only thing that I noticed that is different, and it's going to be really hard to show you, is on the Odyssey Plus. If you look through the little perforations in the headphones, there's red fabric back there, which isn't present on the Odyssey, and it's very hard to see. You got to look for it, but if you look kind of off angle, you could sort of see. Let's see if maybe we could get that to focus. No, but there is red fabric inside the perforations. On the review, I'll try to show you that, and that's not present on the Odyssey. Nice little touch. It actually looks pretty nice, but very subdued, very hidden, so it's not really going to be seeing that much. So let's take these little lens covers off here, and what we're going to do is we're going to now jump in the rig. I'm going to plug in the headset, and I'll let you know what I think as far as the visuals and overall fitment. I think once we actually get the headset powered on and we're able to fit it on our heads a little bit better, it might change things. I'm kind of hopeful, but here we go. All right, so we're inside iRacing now with the Porsche 911 RSR at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca, now WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. It's funny, up in the corner it still says Mazda Raceway, but on the sign there it says WeatherTech. But anyway, alright, so as soon as we throw on the headset here, I notice things are a lot clearer. Definitely a lot clearer. Let's see, the Cooper's tire sign, everything looks a lot more well defined. I probably should have just jumped into this straight out of the gate. Let's go into the vehicle. Alright, so let's get that all set up. iRacing does not disappoint. Yeah, definitely. So being that headset, it's kind of like my assumption was pretty well on target here. Being that the monitors, the screens seem clearer. Now, the resolution is not any different, but because we're not seeing the screen door effect, even though with the base Oculus, the base Odyssey, it was very hard to see the screen door effect. But being that we're not seeing any screen door effect at all, it was kind of exacerbating any sort of non-clearness, any sort of jagginess or aliasing that was experienced over at Assetto Corsa Competizione. So I'm going to have to probably boost those graphical settings, maybe boost super sampling to really get the most out of it. But in here, now clarity is kind of iRacing's best suit as far as VR goes. It always seemed to be clearer and crisper. Now I think it's because of native super sampling that's on. We have not adjusted that at all. So I could read everything on this dash display and everything looks pretty darn good. I don't necessarily have to look down at it. But everything is very well legible. I could even read that dash display over there too, for the most part. Some things, like I could see daylight, main light, rain light, light. Top right is pump, then pump again, then pump, and then let's see on the bottom, reset 1, reset 2, reset 3. So, you know, if you're sitting in this car in your headset and you can't read those, I could see them perfectly fine. Off to the right there, throttle sense, then dimmer display, and then through the mesh here was, let's say, AC maps. You know, so I could see a good amount, and it's all very clear. Let's go on track and let's see how things look. Now, off in the distance, those cones there are kind of shimmering in and out, like they do on every other headset because they are farther away. And that's the resolution there doing that. Things do have a somewhat of a softer appearance. Now, with this title being much clearer, I'm going to tell you, it does not look bad at all. The softness of it, I was a little bit of afraid when it was Assetto Corsa, when we were in Assetto Corsa Competizione, I was a little afraid that the softness was really to that level, but I think it's just the fidelity of the screens making it more apparent that I need to boost the super sampling, because this looks really, really nice. The headphones sound really good as always. So overall, my initial impressions are I'm very impressed with the headset as far as the screens go. Assetto Corsa Competizione was actually not a good test for that, it turns out. iRacing, which is known to be a very clear, very crisp-looking title, actually showed me how much better it can look with this headset. Now, you can kind of see a line going across my nose there. That's where the headset is actually touching my nose. You know, I have a bigger nose, but, you know, nothing crazy. And that is that plastic edge there touching my nose right there. So we're going to adjust the fitment a little bit. I'm going to spend more time with this headset. I kind of feel like at some moments I moved the headset maybe up my head a little bit, and I got it to just the right spot where it wasn't touching my nose and it felt like it was somewhat acceptable. But we do have a dead pixel on the left side, so I got to think about what we're going to do here It's only noticeable on solid red backgrounds. I don't know if Windows could, or Samsung can maybe send us another one out before we send this one back, because I want to get the testing done. And yeah, overall, I really do like the screens, but I think the Fitment, I think they regressed. I think they went backwards. So that's my initial impressions. Definitely stay tuned for the full review. It's going to be coming very soon. Again, I'm Crash, this is RTA Motorsports. Definitely stay tuned for a lot more content, a lot more reviews, product reviews next year. Once the Pimax comes out, we're going to take a look at those as well. VR is kind of our thing here with sim racing, as well as our motion cockpit. You can expect more videos of this cockpit coming out soon, as well as our 2018 Camaro ZL1. So if those are all types of videos you want to see, or if you have other ideas for other content, definitely leave them in the comment box below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that reminder bell. We do post a lot of back of the scenes sort of things in our community tab. So again, thank you so much for all your support. It's been awesome. It's been a lot of fun. We'll catch you all next time.